In '52, I went to work, and I met this girl that was different from anyone I had ever met. And she spoke different than anyone else, and I just liked her, and her and I became friends. She came to my house quite often, I went to hers, and so she asked me one time, she said, "Jean, when you die, where do you think you're going?" I said, "I hope I'm going to heaven." She said, "I know for sure where I'm going." And I said, "Surely there's not a soul here that knows where they're going when they die." She said, "I do." So time went on, and I'd ask her questions, but then she'd be a good half hour or so telling me all kinds of stuff, and I'd lose interest. And after a while, I stopped asking her, but she came over every Sunday evening before going to choir practice. And we lived in South Portland at the time, my husband and the two boys. And she'd come over every Sunday evening, and she'd say, "I'm going to choir practice." And so that was fine. So one time I said to her, "Do you think they'd mind if I went along with you and just listened to you practicing?" She said, "No." So I came with her, and they were singing, "Were you there when they crucified my Lord?" And I said, that was very touching for me. And so I went to church with her some Sunday evening. This Shirley Crockett was my very, very best friend, and she came to this little church up the hill here. And so I said to my husband, "Honey, I'd like you to come to church with me some Sunday evening over there." He said, "I'm not going there. I don't go to my own church. I'm not going there." Bob Bell was pastor at this church, and I thought, wow, I like what he's saying. I never heard so much about Jesus as I do now. So he asked one night if anyone needed prayers, so I put my arm up, and I'm sure Shirley felt that, and she probably had been praying for me for years anyway. So like I said, we were having a little problem, and I said to my husband, he went in I told him, I said, "You know what? When the youngest boy leaves to go in the Navy, I am getting a divorce." And I didn't want a divorce either. I was just talking like I always did when I wanted him to change a little bit. He would for a couple of weeks. He'd be great, spend more time with us. And so this evening when I told him that, he went in his room, because he had a room that he used to have all these books and everything. And he come out and he was crying. And he said, "Jean, I love you very much, but," he said, "if you want to leave me, I'll let you go, but I don't want to. I love you and I want to be with you." So he said, "I just got on my knees, put my hand up, and I asked God to lead my life, that I've ruined it for 48 years, and I would like to make a change. Will you go to church with me tomorrow?" Well, that was the first time we went. We never went anyplace else. We came here morning and evening, prayer meeting. He wouldn't miss a thing. This was in '73 that he became a Christian, and in June, 6 months later, I did. But that day that I accepted, my husband got up and left, have to go speak to the pastor and things. And I just burst out crying. I thought I was going to have a heart attack that morning. I never heard a thing the pastor said. My heart was pounding so hard and my head felt this big. And I thought, oh my goodness. Then I knew what it was. And I burst out crying. Frank Ham ran over and he said, is this what I think it is? And I said, yes. So he ran out and got the pastor. He said, because the kids were going to graduate and he would want to speak with them. He went over and he said, Pastor Jean Cook needs you right away. So we had the word, sinner's prayer, and that was it.